can you say like your name, where you teach, and what you teach?
My name is Dr. Jim Hetke. I teach history and political science at Cabrini College.
Do you believe that the modern world's political view of the two political parties being completely separate and not communicating with each other, do you believe that started in modern years or has been since almost the beginning of the United States?
I think that there has been a political division in the United States since its inception. I mean, it reared its head in the ratifying conventions for the Constitution, where you had the Federalists against the Anti-Federalists. We had right at the beginning a polarization in politics in terms of the Federalists and the Jeffersonian Republicans. These were two parties that were diametrically opposed. You talk about division. We had Aaron Burr shooting his political rival Alexander Hamilton in a duel. We had contentious politics in the Jacksonian era, a battle over the morality of the Mexican War, and of course the great divisive issue where politicians couldn't agree, and it actually led to a civil war in 1860. So we've had a long history of divisive politics, and this is only one more example that you're seeing in 2013.
What do you believe could be done to sort of bridge the gap between Democrats and Republicans?
I think that what needs to be done is that leadership in both parties has to look at areas where there are agreement. You know, I think that both parties would agree that Americans who work need health care. I think both parties would agree that the deficit at this point is not a good thing. I think that both parties can agree that terrorism, nuclear proliferation, all provide a real danger to the United States. So I think instead of looking at what divides each party, the party should look at what they hold in agreement.
Would you say that many of the issues that the parties divide themselves on are petty in any way?
I think that there are issues of less importance that divide the parties. I think what I would consider lesser issues are some of the social issues that divide the party. For example, gay marriage. I think that young Republicans and young Democrats would both agree that gay marriage approved either at the federal level or the state level is going to be a fact. That in fact both parties seem to have been captured by their 10% radical fringe, the radical right conservatives, the radical left liberals seem to be dominating their party, and where in the middle of the normal curve is really pulled away from that center by the radicals at both ends. And I think that has something to do with our primary system. I do think there are important issues facing the United States, and both parties agree that these are important issues. There are substantial differences on how to tackle them. For example, the Democrats would tackle the deficit with more taxation. The Republicans would tackle it by making cuts in spending. That's a substantial difference. I think the unifying point is that in fact we can agree the deficit is not a good thing, and that's where you have to begin to work and compromise.
Okay. And one more question. Do you think that money in politics is further dividing the two parties between business ideals as well?
I think that money has always been in American politics. I think money has always caused a division in politics, and I really think that spending by groups that are 527, 501 groups that have no accountability on how much they spend and who their donors are really factionalizing both parties. These are the most radical groups. They collect the most money. They have no responsibility to the Federal Election Commission or to any government legislation, and they really fuel the radical right and the radical left. So yes, money has added to this divisive politics that we see in 2013.